Hey there, if you follow us on our YouTube channel or our website, 5mrealty.com, you know my name is Scott Talley. I'm the owner broker here at 5Market Realty, where we like to do market update videos, give you update videos on new listings, and generally keep people informed about what we're seeing in the Athens area and Oconee County real estate market, even if you're not in the market. But if any of those things interest you, be sure to click subscribe. You'll be notified when we have a new video to share with you, either on a property or a market update like today. And bear with me, I've had more tech issues today than we've ever seen before with our building is having some internet power issues, but I have the time to get it done today. That's what we're going to do. We're going to look at keeping current matters and their news on national market trends and try to compare that with what we've seen here in Athens. So let's dive right in here and look at one of these first graphs, something you might have seen from me if you follow us here locally, talking about consumer debt being at a record level. And this right here is breaking down consumer debt, which is in the trillions, almost to 20 trillion. The yellow, as you can see above my head, is mortgage debt. A home equity line is blue, and then you've also got auto loans in green, light blue being credit cards, and student loans in orange. This looks like a staggering amount of consumer debt, and it is factually accurate. This is from the New York Fed, and there is more to this story, though, because what people are hearing when they hear that is dread that something bad's coming. Well, the biggest part of that was home mortgage debt, and that's what we're looking at here. Right now, the part of that is home mortgage debt is at 13 trillion. And another number here that we're going to pull up is the total homeowner equity, which is at 35 trillion. As you can see above my head, home equity is far outpacing mortgage debt. And that's the big part of this. That's the part of the story. While credit card debt is bad, student loan payments are hard, auto payments can be expensive. We're talking about mortgage debt and housing today. So right now, we've got about a $22 trillion difference between the debt and mortgages and the home equity value. Let's go back and look a little bit more under my head. Follow this arrow right here. This is 2007. What does that green line start to do? It starts to trend down. It was above the debt, and it started to trend down. I was working in real estate at this time in my 20s, and let me tell you, I felt every bit of that downturn. I, really thought long and hard about being in real estate at this time. And as you can see, the green line did go below the equity. So, the equity fell below the debt, and that was the mortgage crisis. And as you can see today, we are a far cry from where that is. Now, the truth is, a lot of people out there would like to see something happen in this real estate market to sort of reset it. One of those things would be foreclosures. I myself, while I'm a real estate broker, things are expensive to me too. So I wouldn't mind seeing things be more affordable with inflation and, of course, real estate prices. But the idea that foreclosures are going to come along and correct this real estate market and bring the values down, right now, no trends point that way, and that's what I want to show you. So directly to right here next to my head is 2009 mortgage delinquency, people that were more than 90 days past due on their mortgage. This is today. Now, there's some news out there that we're going to cover as well that talks about how mortgage delinquencies are up. And while that is also factually true, we've covered it a lot of times. This is the delinquencies back in 08, 09, 10. As we trend down, remember the moratorium of COVID, they went away. And that's why they're technically up. But as you can see, this level right here, they're not shooting up. If we start to notice a trend that this is going to happen, then we'll definitely tell you that foreclosures are up. But that's not what we're seeing right now. We are seeing more expired listing. Keep in mind that people that are behind on those payments, if they have that much equity, they have optionage. Let's talk about the expired listings that you're seeing in your neighborhood and how is that playing in the market? Because what we just said, foreclosures aren't really part of this market. Expired listings are becoming part of it. This is the days on market, and it's gone up since 2021. This is October of each year, 43 days in 2021 to 50 over the last 2 years there, 22, 23, and now up to almost 60 days, source being realtor.com there. So we're seeing the same thing in Athens. We'll cover that in a minute. And the inventory has risen since 2021. Look at this. You've got 565,750, 738. And today, October of each year, source being realtor.com, we've got almost 1 million homes on the market. So two things, days on market going up, inventory going up. What else could be going on in the market? Well, home sales are going down. So this is actually looking at the annual rate of existing home sales since 2021. To this side of my head, you're looking over 6.5 million, going now down to below 4.5 million. And we'll get into what they're going to project for this year. But the amount of home sales is down. So this creates a formula that we want to look at. Days on market up, inventory up, home sales down, expired listings. Expired listings are part of a normal real estate market. They always have been. What was abnormal was 2021 when everything sold and it sold like that. That was the abnormal market. What we're heading into is more normal. I also want to show you here in Athens, this is where it's tracking the same. This is an old graph from probably the August update where this is Clark and Oconee County, January through July, expired and withdrawn listings. As you can see, that arrow is trending up, 76% gain, a lot more. However, this number of 171 is not some historical abnormality. It's more in line with pre-COVID. So what we're returning to is some normalcy. And total sales forecast, it is positive for next year. I'll go ahead and bring that up. This is from sources being Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, and NAR. So as you see here, you got 6.5 million in 2020, almost 7 million in 2021, and then going down to about 4.8. They're projecting current pace 4.6 million in sales, which is down from last year. And they're thinking next year is going to be a little better, a little over 5 million. I would say, nobody knows, nobody has a crystal ball. I think this is probably a pretty fair projection here. And I want to show you how it's a little different here in Clark and Oconee County. This is an example of what we do in our local market updates where we look specifically at our numbers January through November. So this is the new listings in Clark and Oconee County. It's 11% up this year from last year. That's in line, more listings with national trends. Days on market is about 9% up. That is in line, more days on market with national trends. Average sales price, bucking the system a little bit. We're above national trends there with almost a little over 8% gain in year-over-year appreciation. This is where it's different. Follow me down here. Total homes sold. Remember that last slide? We're going to see less sales this year nationally than we did last year. Not in Clark and Oconee County. We're actually going to see a 10% gain in units sold. Each real estate market's local. What's happening here is not going to be the same as what's happening in the condo market in Florida or what's happening to anything in Arizona, New York, Philadelphia. Our market's a little insulated with the university and a very desirable area right now. Also want to talk about inventory specifically locally before we move on to looking ahead. I've been tracking the amount of homes for sale in our local market updates. And right here, 414 in November, that was the high water mark that we've seen of total homes on the market would have been last month. It's now around December 10th, 2024. And when I pulled that number for 367, that was December 2nd. December 10th, it's already down to 320 something listings. So this end of the year drop off is typical. You're going to see houses come off the market for the holidays, expired listings, withdrawal listings, people going to reset in the spring. So what we want to see is what happens in 2025. Do we hit the gate running with more inventory in January? Is it slow to trickle out? That's going to tell a lot about what's going to happen in the market. We're going to try to look ahead here and show you some mortgage rate projections. Forecasting these things is a little tricky. I'm putting together here with Keeping Current Matters, Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, Wells Fargo, what they're projecting in the quarters from now, fourth quarter through fourth quarter of 2025. So you can see the average of all three is going to be first couple of quarters about 6.5 in the middle, going down to about 6.3. Probably a pretty fair and modest projection. Most people think with the Fed funds rate being cut, we're going to see lower mortgage rates towards the end of next year. There's so many factors that could happen. What we're probably not going to see is something around low fives, definitely not fours. You might have some bankers be able to get you into the 5% range. And if that happens, that's going to be a positive for buyer demand in the market. But this is the mortgage rate projections too, 30-year fixed rate. Same thing is kind of done as a graph. And what's directly below my head right here, that's the massive change that happened in the real estate market. So in 2022, interest rates went up at the fastest rate, the sharpest rise ever. Not that the rates were the highest they've ever been. I remember trying to explain to a client in August of 2022 what was going on and that the rates had gone up so quickly, to which they responded, young man, you don't remember when rates were 18%. They're not the highest they've ever been. And I clarified, they're definitely not the highest, but they've risen at the sharpest rate. They've gone up at the highest amount rate. That's what's happened. But now if you look over here, it's a calmer mortgage rate climate. Inflation's still a problem. That's going to be a continued battle with the new administration. That's why you're not going to see mortgage rates probably go very low again. But we're going to see a calmer mortgage rate climate. And if you're in the market, you might be able to predict that a little better instead of trying to time things. That's what we always advise people. Be in the market you're in instead of trying to predict what's going to happen, because as much as we're trying to help you here with forecasts, nobody has a crystal ball. Things are out of our control. So right here, this is 16 forecasters about home price forecast. We started this talking about foreclosures and people's want or desire to see prices come down. I would like to as well, but nobody's really feeling that happening. We're just thinking that it's going to be slower appreciation. You can see here of all these things like Zillow, Morgan Stanley, CoreLogic, NAR, Mortgage Bankers Association, all of them Almost all except for one here at Moody's Analytics have it slightly going up. The average being about 3%. Here locally, what did I show you? We actually saw a little over 8% in the Clark and Oconee County area just using our classic MLS. So each area is going to be different, but the trend is not that prices are going down. The trend is that appreciation is slowing. You might see a neighbor overprice their house and it sit too long, because that is something that can still happen in a more normal climate. What we'd like to end here with you is showing you a picture of our group. This is our group here at 5Market Realty. Thank you for sticking with me for 10 plus minutes to follow that information. Be sure to click subscribe. And if you have a need coming up in 2025, reach out to somebody here, because you need somebody that actually knows what's going on and can help you. One prime example is people heard about the Fed funds rate going down. And in fact, that actually the next day, mortgage rates went up. So what you hear in the news is not always factually what's going on in your market. That's why it's important to work with one of our professionals here. They can help you get a plan, help you sell your house, find an investment property, or buy that home in a challenging climate right now. Thank you for sticking with me. Have a great holiday season, and be sure to click subscribe. Go Dogs as we enter into the playoff season, and happy holiday season.